Hey everybody, Kicking It Retro here today with a Gold Silver Crystal TGB Dual Wi-Fi battle versus Xenon 3120. Just like our match today, our opponent is just as classical indeed. Yes, we have the Renegade of Red, Blue, Gold, Silver Crystal Wi-Fi battling and third generation Xenon 3120. If you don't know who that is, go ahead and pause the video right now. Go check out who that is. You need to know this individual. And come back to the video when you get done. No team preview. We're jumping in just like old school. Let's go ahead and jump in and see how epic of a match that we have. Just like the match today, I've got the tunes to match the beat. If you guys recognize the music, drop it in the comment section down below as we face off against this fierce opponent. So, Gengar leads Nidoking. Let me tell you something. I'm okay with this because I can just Lovely Kiss because I actually have a berry myself if he wants to play the Hypnosis game. That's fine. I decided to go for an Earthquake right off the bat. If he goes for Hypnosis and I heal it off and I do tons of damage to Gengar, I'm good with it. I get to chunk Starmie for a fourth right off the bat on the very first turn of the game. I consider that a win-win situation. Starmie is completely hard-walled in every single way by Snorlax. The only way that this thing can make my life a lot more difficult is if he has the Toxic to give me that affliction, and then I have to use my rest a lot more than I would like to. I actually owe you an apology, friend. I actually mistold you my moveset on Discord the other day, but we'll get into that when the time is right. Anyway, so we got Snorlax leading off against that Starmie. Right now, I'm just trying to get a lot of team information as best as I can at the beginning of the match. As my, again, great minds think alike, he's also got a Miltank on there, so I know some Heal Bell shenanigans is actually going to be happening. I decided to Earthquake. Again, I'm predicting the Gengar super hard right off the bat, because Gengar can come in completely free on Snorlax. I also want to make it very clear to him that he cannot bring in this Gengar for free as long as my Snorlax is around to save the day. Now, thinking the best physical defense I have on my entire team is Cloyster. It hard walls Miltank that doesn't run Thunder just to check possibly Skarmory. He decides to double out into Houndoom. And I was like, okay, so what I decided to do here is I go for Icy Wind. Now, I've already seen a Gengar. I know Icy Wind might be weird to you, and Surf, not having Surf might be weird. Cloyster has Butter Bean special defense, but that Icy Wind lowering Rex's speed is all I need to happen. And here's the reason why. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I look at the damage calculator, I can live a crit Flamethrower because he's not carrying Fire Blast with Nidoking, and I can go in and knock this thing out with Nidoking right off the bat. That is one of the situational plays I could make right here. I also could set up my spikes, and I also could explode. Exploding here would be completely aggressive and probably way too much oomph right off the bat trying to get rid of the Houndoom. I want Houndoom out, but I want to do it safely. I know Nidoking can take any crit, and that is exactly why I decided to do that. But he makes a fantastic play doubling into Starmie, and I did not get the spikes up. I almost got the spikes up and then doubled out into Gengar to rapid spin, but I have to be careful because Starmie has already showed me the Psychic. Xenon is not playing around that. He's going to Surf. He does not get a crit. He does a decent amount of damage. I mean, Snorlax does resist special hits really, really well. I just decided to go for Earthquake. I am so convinced that Gengar is coming out. We need a tally sheet. Somebody start a tally sheet in the comment section down below and count how many times I'm predicting this Gengar to just come in and hard wall Snorlax and other Pokemon on my team. Anyway, so that Earthquake comes in onto the Miltank. The Miltank is not phased at all. I see the curse, and I'm thinking, okay, so there's a couple situations here. Since I have Belly Drum, I'm not at all scared of this Miltank cursing up in my face, because once I get a paralysis, and he goes to -1, and I Belly Drum, he's going to take some massive damage either way and get knocked out. So he does get that very, very early Body Slam paralysis, and that's fine, because I have rest, so I really don't care, because once I paralyze him, I'm faster than him anyway. I think his speed is like 65 after being paralyzed, and my entire team outspeeds it. Plus, my Miltank has a utter surprise in store for you. Anyways, I go to Gengar now, and I'm thinking, let's see if this Miltank is mono-attacking. Let's see if he's got any type of attack to hit the Gengar on the super effective side. I also have the Haze, but I really didn't want to just give him free lance. I also wanted to scout and see if he had Thunder Wave, perhaps. Pretty sure Miltank learns in this gen. It may have been Gen 3. So he brings back in Rex, and I'm thinking, okay, I could just Body Slam here. I mean, maybe he just... Oh, so it was a Gengar. He tried to bring in Houndoom on the Gengar, and I doubled out, predicting him to try to Pursuit Trap my Gengar. That's why I didn't stay in Thunderbolt for regular damage, because I would love to just Ice Punch freeze Miltank. That would be so good. My whole idea at the beginning of this game is to put his Miltank out of commission, because if it is heal belling, I want it asleep. I want it out of commission. I do get that wonderful Body Slam paralysis, and because Milk Drink is a instant recovery move, without relying on rest, I can easily outstall these flamethrowers, and that's what's in the back of my mind. I also don't just want to go out in the Snorlax. I've got to be very careful going out in the Snorlax. I need to get it rested up and healed. Once again, I make the same play, thinking that for the flamethrower, predicting the crit flamethrower to make the offensive play to go back into the Nidoking. Now, I'm going to lovely kiss the Miltank. Even if he heal bells the Houndoom, that is fine. I really don't want that thing healed up, but it's fine because, again, I can take any hit from the Houndoom and knock it out at any point with Nidoking. What I decide here is to continually stay in with the Nidoking just to kind of see. Let me tell you something about Gens 1 through 3 sleep. It is, at least in the cartridge games, not in Stadium and Stadium 2 where it's only like 1 to 3 turns and you've got a lot of Rust Talk. There is a very heavy Rust Talk metagame in Gold, Silver, Crystal, Red, OU, but it's fine. I go for Fire Blast. I kind of want to Scout V as like Heracross as well. Nidoking is one of my hard Heracross checks to the team that I've actually built because I don't have Skarmory for Heracross. So I decide when Fire Blast misses, I decide to just go to Gengar. Once again, I hardwall this thing, wear it down a little bit. But I got to be careful the way I do it, because I can't just continually give him aggressive switch-ins. I make a super aggressive play here, thinking I would drop this. Now, remember those spikes I wanted to set up earlier? This Miltank would be down and out. It would have to switch out, come back on spikes, and die. And now I can come in here with Miltank and risk the speed tie, and it's fine. He can easily go to Gengar. In the back of my mind, I know at some point he's just going to go hard to Gengar. But I want him to be under the impression that I'm not scared of Gengar. I want him to think that my Miltank is actually set up in a way to kind of pseudo-counter, like Curse Snorlax, Curse Miltank, things like that, to psych up those changes and do some things. But we'll get into that later. Oh, I revealed my surprise. Whoops! Sorry! So anyway, now he goes out to Starmie as I've got Meganium out here. Now Meganium doesn't really fear Ice Beam that much. I mean, it does. Psychic actually does quite a bit, but we don't get that special defense drop. And Hidden Power Grass does okay damage. I really wish Meganium you could do more. Counter is phenomenal, and you'll see that later on in the battle. So here comes the Psychic. I'm down to 11. I do not get a paralysis on that Body Slam. My team has a lot of paralysis affliction because I have things like Belly Drum, Snorlax, and things like that, and a little bit of explosion offense, and then Nidoking that's kind of mixed, and then Cloyster. At some point, I know Cloyster is going to go down. I really don't want to lose Meganium because I do have the rest, and any paralyzed Mon, I could rest up and get that get the Mint Berry off, and then I'll be able to be at full health again. So I'm okay with sacking Cloyster. It did okay. I know none of my team is at a range they can take down Nidoking, so this is no risk other than a crit to bring in Snorlax right now and go for a rest, while I also risk a paralysis, because at any point if this gets paralyzed, then it is going to be down for the count. Luckily, Snorlax is tubby and fat and wonderful and heals all the way. By the way, Snorlax is actually one of my favorite Pokemon. If you like Snorlax, let me know in the comments section down below. We're going to go ahead and get all the way healthy as this Starmie is recovering leftovers, recovering with leftovers. My idea is to keep my surprise hidden with Belly Drum, because I know at some point I'm either going to use his Miltank to boost my own Miltank, or I'm going to Belly Drum and utterly threaten this thing. I made a funny there. So there should have been spikes on the field twice now that would have eviscerated this thing out of the playing field. So now I just decided to burn sleep turns, because at some point he does Milk Drink, and at some point he does try to set up on me. And then once again it's just the same run-in procedure. Snorlax being the best thing. Once again, checking for that Gengar for the 4th time again. So that Earthquake happened. Gengar didn't come in. He gets off that Milk Drink, and I guess I just don't deserve a paralysis. And that's fine. You know, damage is damage. I already know this thing has Curse, but as I said earlier in the battle, once this thing gets paralyzed and I go for Belly Drum and he goes for Curse, I outspeed him and I can just knock him out with Belly Drum boosted Earthquake And that would be amazing, especially if Gengar comes in. I don't want him to have that Gengar for too long in the back because there is a threat of an explosion, and I no longer have my check. It was really aggressive to explode on Miltank, but I really just had to bring it in range, and I'm kicking myself for not throwing those really sharp spikes all over the field. He decides after he gets up to full, pretty much full, to go for a curse. That means now, after being paralyzed, he will be slower than my Snorlax. And I know he's scared now, but he doesn't know I'm Belly Drum. Most of his Pokemon are special attackers. Houndoom, Starmie, Zapdos, all of those Pokemon. Those Pokemon are absolutely shattered, rocked, and rolled by Snorlax. The only thing that could beat Snorlax at this point is his Gengar's explosion. So he sees that right away after he gets a body slam. He does not para, but he takes me out instead after that Belly Drum. So that Belly Drum, I don't know if that was minimal damage range or what. You guys let me know in the comment section down below what happened with that turn. I'm still not afraid. I still have plenty of firepower because I bring in Miltank, and I'm thinking here, I haven't revealed Heal Bell. So now I'm going to use my secret weapon, Psych up. Because what this means is my Miltank isn't paralyzed, so I can easily just stay on this Miltank regardless of what happens, milk drink all these attacks. When he curses, I Psych up. So I'm going to stay healthy and unparalyzed, and then I have Heal Bell as well. But I don't want him to think I have Heal Bell. I want him to think, at this point in the game, without revealing it, I want to scare him to think that I have Earthquake. Because if I had Psych up alongside Earthquake, yeah, I would have to be paralyzed. But here's the cool part. When Gengar comes in and tries to explode on me, it can't kill me. If I'm paralyzed, he can't freeze me. He can't do any other special damage to me. Explosion may cut my defense in half, but hey, those curses are going to stack up, and then he has to sacrifice his own Gengar. Then he has something, Zapdos is pretty much the only thing that could put me in check because Houndoom has been damaged a little bit. And I know that in the back of my mind because, once again, I still have that Nidoking in the back that can live any attack Houndoom goes for and knock it out at any point with an Earthquake. His Starmie is the other biggest thing I'm worried about. So that's a fantastic play on my opponent's part, predicting me to try to steal his second curse, going for a Psych up, a doubles back out into Houndoom. At some point, I just decide to go ahead and attack. I feel like I probably should have sacked another Mon here, gone into Nidoking safely, and just started Earthquaking his team as well. Because having extra damage on Miltank is just not a good idea. So I look at the damage range, and I actually do take a Flamethrower pretty well. I do risk the crit. I go down to 33 health. I go for the Body Slam. I am praying to RNGesus and the Gods and Missing Number to give me a paralysis. I'm watching everything go down with +1, and I get a crit! Let's go! Freaking taking it out. That's amazing. So now he's just going to bring in Starmie. And it is at this point that I realize how strong his Starmie is, because my Meganium is completely out of commission. And you already saw that it could pretty much 2-hit KO me, maybe 3-hit KO me soft with Psychic. And Nidoking is not going to be able to finish the job. Guys, I really think losing Belly Drum Snorlax to that move roll with Miltank was huge. I thought the Psych up was phenomenal. I wanted to scare him all game with that Miltank. But then again, Miltank could not have taken special hits from Starmie. Guys, what do you think about coming back to the second generation? What do you think about battling Xenon 3120? Now, we do risk it on a prayer here. We go ahead and put the Starmie to sleep because the Starmie can't wake up. Now, he is going to burn sleep turns. He goes out to MS Dawson. I should have gone for Ice Beam on this turn. I was so scared of him going to Zapdos, and I just could not click the button. And unfortunately, he does have the Drill Peck, so we go down. So then he decides to make another switch back into Starmie for whatever reason. And Starmie is weak to Meganium, so I was thinking, okay, I'm just going to go for Rest. I don't know what Xenon was predicting here, but he goes out to Nidoking, and I get a full heal and a sleep. However, Nidoking's Fire Blast easily 2-hit KOs, and I don't have the Light Screen or Healing to do a bunch of damage with Meganium. Guys, Meganium is one of the most undersought Pokemon I have ever seen in my life, and I do appreciate a lot of the other fan games making it Fairy type and Grass Dragon type, really to give it kind of a niche and make it a better Pokemon. I am hopeful in the new games they will give it a new form or give it some love. Maybe give it the old XD treatment where you can get the Johto starters and maybe they Mega Evolve or get new forms or something like that, maybe Branched Evolution. He finishes this battle with a bang. He goes on to Ultima and he Ultima smashes and destroys the battlefield, and that is the game. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, I'll see you in the next battle. Power on, power off, and take care.